When something inside you begins to change and you agree with those changes, you stop listening to the words. You start tuning into the state you're experiencing just from being here. And you begin to resonate with me. Because I have my own internal state, the questions I'm working through, the permissions I've granted myself, and the issues I've already resolved. And the extent to which you engage with me, if you have similar questions, that's how much you start changing your life. But only as much as you're ready to invest in all of this. It's like buying shares, but you don't have the money for it yet. So you take out loans, and if you invest those loans wisely, with a clear understanding of why you're alive and what all of this means to you, then change will happen. And since change is inevitable anyway, you need to align yourself with the kind that's positive. Because if it's not positive, it'll come with a minus sign. That's why, as I've said before, the reason we get sick, age, and die is because the future is acting upon us, and we don't know how to interact with it. And since we're still living in three-dimensional space, and by old rules, we need to dream big, desire big, always act, follow the thought-action principle, switch gears quickly, express gratitude, speak as equals, and be ready to die. In this dimension we live in, the most powerful force is the willingness to die. When you're ready to die, the old laws you've been using, and even the new ones, no longer have power over you. And when their time is up, they simply die off. And you might ask, why do you always talk about death? Because for our internal system of rules, it's the scariest word. It hates it because you were stalling, behaving inappropriately, failing to use the energy that was given to you. You adapted to others, held back from saying what you wanted to say, stopped yourself from doing what you truly wanted to do. You were afraid, anxious, suffering, doubting whether to take a step. And in doing so, you blocked the energy. And that energy would start to stay stuck inside you, and you couldn't move forward because that energy takes up space. And you only have so much internal capacity, which can hold only a limited number of laws you operate by. To make room for new ones, you need to do something with the old ones. Either negotiate with them, express them, or let them go into the past. And only then can life and true fulfillment begin. So as soon as you choose the state of thought, action, spoken, done, of seeing the good, thinking creatively, being ready to die, and on top of that, you're honest with yourself and admit where you're afraid, angry, resentful, or conforming. Even if you admit that something you believe in might be complete nonsense, but you're genuinely willing to accept that possibility without resistance. Like, for example, someone is running a business that's constantly losing money, and someone tells them, hey, maybe it's time to shut it down. It's just not working. Start something else that could actually bring profit. But they respond, no, I've already put so much money into it. Let me throw in even more and let that die too. Because it's a shame to stop now. I've already lost so much. Let's bury a bit more with it. Being able to say no to what doesn't serve you is like living with a man or a woman and saying, well, yeah, he's a total jerk or she's awful, but what can you do? We've been together so long. Leaving now would be like admitting I was wrong from the start. Guys, you've got to admit when you're wrong. Because really, you become like the people you surround yourself with. If you look at someone and think, wow, that person's horrible, how unlucky their partner must be. The truth is, people are contextual. If someone is living with that person, it means they're the same, just expressed differently. One is obvious about it, the other hides it. One's out in the open, the other puts on a show of being great. So if you're a sealed can and your partner's a sealed can, but you're out here pretending to be all busy and progressive, let's be honest, you're not progressive at all. You picked that kind of partner on purpose, someone who'd hold you back, so you wouldn't have to show up as your real self, because who you hang around with is who you become. So of course, when we talk about values, and our task right now is to look at people, look at situations, look at what's happening with you. What am I really doing? I'm a destroyer, actually. When you look at my mom, my dad, you can see their level of development, their intellect, what they've accomplished, and you realize that they've handed everything off to the son. Like, Here you go, son, because we couldn't handle it ourselves. So how does this happen? What are talents, abilities, knowledge, skills, power, opportunity, potential? They're your killers. That's right, they're your curse. If you're suddenly a psychic or a billionaire, that's your curse. And if you don't know how to handle it, it'll destroy you. It's like getting into an awesome airplane, sitting at the controls, but oops, small detail, you forgot to learn how to fly or land it. You figured out takeoff, but landing, nope. And you didn't bring a parachute either. That's when trouble starts. So if you have any kind of talent, knowledge, skill, power, or fame, you've got to understand what principles to apply so that it actually benefits you. Because if you have all that and God forbid you start identifying with it, it means you don't have acceptance and you don't know how to set your priorities straight. For example, when someone comes up to me and says, "Can I take a photo with you, Satta?" I say no. Why? Because you're just as valuable as I am. And when you take a picture with me, you're really saying, I'll take a photo with this valuable person so I can feel more valuable myself. And when I say no, you just think, what a jerk, won't even take a photo with us. And that's it. So when you recognize your own value, when you respect and love yourself, when you live to be happy and to enjoy life, everything else just becomes scenery, a stage, a space for you to experience certain feelings. And the further you go, the more complex the information you start processing. Like my friend's wife once told me, "You talk so fast and so much and about so many things, I haven't understood a word in the last 15 minutes, but keep talking anyway." The thing is, your brain is trying to catch up. It wants to stay in control, to create a framework where it can manage all this incoming information, and it tries to translate everything into a linear worldview. A thought has an impact. You simply set an intention. Looks like I've got toxins and waste in my body, judging by the mess in my home and the dust on the windowsill. So I'm going to do a deep clean of my house, but I'm also doing a deep clean of every single cell in my body, clearing out all the trash, the dirt, and everything unnecessary, and taking it all out to the dumpster. And then get active with it. Trust me, you're practicing extrasensory cleansing of your body. So when someone gets sick or runs into problems, you know what we do? We go out to the park and start picking up trash, even if we're not putting some big intention behind it, like, as I collect this trash and sort it, plastic with plastic, paper with paper, glass with glass, you're simply cleaning the park. And that creates an effect because you live on Earth. You are earthlings, and your entire body is made of soil, 100% composed of various micro elements that make you up. But let me tell you a secret. This house is made of earth too. Actually, all cars, houses, airplanes, and gadgets are made from the earth. We extract specific minerals, combine them, and what we end up with looks nothing like the original. And when we work with the primal original state of the soil, whenever we affect someone else, we think, meaning we think creatively, or we think through negation, because all our illnesses are thought forms charged with emotion. And emotion means the past. It's backed by past experiences, but when we act through feeling and creativity, we're engaging with the future. And you know what I want to tell you? These days, whether you act from emotion or from feelings and think you're doing great, it's all compromise. All of it. Today is about feelings. And that's the future. Tomorrow becomes the present. The day after tomorrow turns into a low frequency past. And it starts to kill you, even though yesterday it used to fill you up and make you happy. Yesterday, second grade was a dream. Today, it's your reality. And the day after tomorrow, it's basically still second grade, but you're already in third. That makes it your past. And if you linger there too long, people will say, "Come on, be smarter, don't be a fool. You've been stuck in second grade forever." So it turns out we're constantly being drawn into an illusion.